Okay, we have over the last few years had a tradition where we try and recognize some of the notables in our community who have recently passed away. I try and collect information from people around the world, and in this case I'd like to acknowledge in particular Jacques Pedrine, Alex Bell, Carlin, and Reike, who have contributed to some of the material. If you don't see people here that you know we may have missed, let us know and we'll cover them in the next meeting. Or we may have already covered them in the previous meeting. But, Eric Derwan, maybe as I get started here, let me say that I think it's always difficult to know how to respond. So let me suggest that as I go through the slide, we just pause for a moment and then I'll move to the next one. Eric Derwan, who was a professor at the University of Faro, most recently in Portugal, previously at the University of Liverpool, where he was director of the Leverhulme Center, and previous to that, who was a professor in Namur. He was also editor-in-chief of the Journal Molecular Catalysis, worked for some time at Mobile R&D, was a previous CFPETA awardee lecturer, also was a past president of FCATS, and I think many of us know him from his work in zeolites and in situ characterization. Eric was a friend and a colleague, and we will miss him dearly. Oleg Krylov. Oleg did his graduate work at the Institute of Physical Chemistry in the USSR Academy of Sciences and the ICP, the Institute of Chemical Physics. He was most noted for his work regarding relationships between electronic configurations and catalytic properties of transition metal compounds. He had a classic textbook on catalysis by non-metals. He was one of the initiators of the interactions that between the USSR and the United States in the 1970s, including the North American Catalysis Society at that time. And he has an impressive list of publications, over 450 papers, reviews, and many, many patents. So we shall miss Oleg. Saul Weller, another very dear friend who I can remember from many years ago, was educated at the University of Chicago, was a chemical engineer specializing in kinetics, coal liquefaction, and gas separation. He was professor of chemical engineering at SUNY Buffalo for many, many years, and also a previous awardee of the Murphy and Storch Awards. And as we look back on some of the history, was involved in some of the early Manhattan Project work. And the final one that we would like to recognize in particular tonight is Sebastian Reyes, who was educated at the University of Minnesota, was a distinguished engineering associate at ExxonMobil, renowned for his work on multi-scale modeling of reaction transport separation systems and frequency response techniques. He was involved in the commercialization of novel gas separation technology, and he was most recognized for mentoring many scientists at ExxonMobil, even teaching free English class to immigrants. So these are four very dear friends and people that many of us, I think, will remember for many times and many years in our community.